Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be telling you a story about him. Dawn breaks over Jerusalem. The narrow stone road fills with people. From a distance, Jesus appears, riding humbly on a young donkey. Crowds gather. They spread their cloaks on the road and wave palm branches, crying out, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Yet Jesus does not rejoice. His eyes are gentle, but filled with deep sorrow, as if he already sees the suffering that lies ahead. He comes not with golden crowns, not with earthly power, but with humility and love. In that moment, no one knows that the palms of praise today will soon become cries of condemnation. Sunlight falls upon the temple courts, but the house of prayer echoes with the noise of trading and money. Jesus enters and stops. He looks around, not in sudden anger, but with the grief of a father whose house has been dishonored. He steps forward. Tables are overturned. Cages fall to the ground. The noise fades into silence. Jesus speaks with calm authority. "My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." The crowd stands speechless. Holiness confronts greed, and light begins to expose the darkness. Sunlight falls upon the temple courts, but the house of prayer echoes with the noise of trading and money. Jesus enters and stops. He looks around, not in sudden anger, but with the grief of a father whose house has been dishonored. He steps forward. Tables are overturned. Cages fall to the ground. The noise fades into silence. Jesus speaks with calm authority. "My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." The crowd stands speechless. Holiness confronts greed, and light begins to expose the darkness. After the meal, the room grows silent. Jesus rises, removes his outer garment, wraps a towel around his waist, and kneels before his disciples. Shock fills the room. The Lord becomes the servant. Peter protests, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus gently replies, "You do not understand now, but later you will." Water flows over dusty feet, washing away pride and fear. Jesus stands and says, "I have set you an example. Love one another and serve as I have served you." Night falls upon the Garden of Gethsemane. The olive trees sway in the cold wind. Jesus kneels alone on the ground. His soul is overwhelmed with sorrow, bearing the weight of humanity's sin. He prays in anguish, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." His sweat falls like drops of blood. The disciples sleep. No one stays awake with him. Then Jesus whispers, "Yet not my will, but yours be done." In the darkness, obedience overcomes fear. A fire burns in the courtyard of the high priest. Peter stands among strangers, trembling. A servant girl says, "You were with Jesus." Peter replies, "I do not know him." Again and again the accusation comes. 3 times Peter denies his Lord. Then the rooster crows. Jesus turns and looks at Peter. "No anger, no accusation, only mercy." Peter breaks down and weeps bitterly. The prophecy is fulfilled, and his heart is shattered with regret. At dawn, Jesus is brought before Pontius Pilate. His body bears the marks of a night's suffering, yet his gaze remains calm. Pilate asks, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answers, "You have said so." The crowd roars with accusations. Pilate finds no guilt in him. He declares, "I find no fault in this man." But the crowd shouts louder, "Crucify him." Pilate washes his hands. Justice is abandoned, and the sentence of death is given. Jesus is bound to a pillar. Whips strike his flesh without mercy. Blood falls to the ground, yet he remains silent. A crown of thorns is pressed upon his head. Blood runs down his face. The soldiers mock him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" In unbearable pain, Jesus endures, not for his own sin, but for the sins of the world. The heavy cross is placed upon Jesus' shoulders. His wounded body trembles with every step. He falls, rises, and continues. The road to Calvary is filled with cruelty and sorrow. Mary watches in silence, her heart pierced with pain. Simon of Cyrene is forced to help carry the cross. For a moment, the burden is shared, But the sacrifice continues. On Calvary, Jesus is thrown upon the cross. Nails pierce his hands and feet. The cross is lifted high. Jesus hangs between heaven and earth, between two criminals. The sky grows dark. In agony, Jesus prays, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Love is revealed, not through words, but through sacrifice. That concludes part 1. See you in the next video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, everyone.